The dark psychology of people who never invite you over isn't about coldness, secrecy, or a lack of love for others. It's about how certain minds experience space, identity, and emotional safety at a deeper level than most people ever stop to consider. For some, a home is not just a physical location, it is a psychological territory, a private ecosystem where thoughts decompress, masks come off, and the nervous system finally exhales. When someone enters that space, it doesn't feel like a casual visit. It feels like exposure. Every object becomes a statement, every habit a confession, every imperfection a potential judgment. A stack of unopened mail, a chair with clothes draped over it, a book you wouldn't want to explain, a half-finished project that represents a dream you're not ready to defend. These things are invisible to you when you're alone, but painfully loud when someone else is present. This is why people who avoid hosting aren't afraid of people. They're wary of being seen too clearly. Long before a guest arrives, the mind enters what can only be described as a preparation anxiety spiral. Cleaning isn't just cleaning, it's an attempt to erase evidence of being human. It's not about hygiene, it's about control. You're not straightening pillows, you're trying to rewrite a narrative. You're staging a version of yourself that feels acceptable, respectable, finished. The irony is that this effort is rarely appreciated because guests don't notice most of what you're panicking over, but the brain doesn't care about logic when identity feels threatened. The anticipation alone can be more draining than the visit itself, turning what should be a simple interaction into an endurance test. And when the guest finally arrives, the exhaustion doesn't stop. It evolves. Hosting becomes a performance, one where you are simultaneously the actor, director, and stage crew. You monitor your tone, your posture, your reactions. You wonder if you're talking too much or too little, if the room is too quiet or too loud, if the temperature is wrong, if the snacks are embarrassing, if the silence means boredom or comfort. You're not present, you're managing perception. This constant self-monitoring burns mental energy at an alarming rate, especially for people who are naturally introspective or highly sensitive to social feedback. It's like running background apps in your mind at full capacity while trying to hold a conversation, and by the end, you're depleted in a way that sleep doesn't immediately fix. For introverted personalities, this depletion cuts even deeper because the home is supposed to be the place where energy is restored, not consumed. When that space is occupied, it's like trying to recharge a battery while it's actively being drained. You might smile, laugh, and appear fine, but internally there's a countdown clock ticking toward overload. Then there's the control paradox, one of the most misunderstood aspects of hosting. On the surface, it looks like the host has power. It's your house, your rules, your environment. But psychologically, the moment someone crosses your threshold, control slips away. You can't leave without being rude. You can't abruptly end the interaction without guilt. You're bound by social expectations that prioritize politeness over comfort, obligation over honesty. Guests can linger longer than you have energy for, touch things you're emotionally attached to, sit in spaces that feel personal, and make comments, sometimes harmless, sometimes not, that you have to absorb without reaction. In public spaces, there are exits, excuses, and time limits. In your own home, you are trapped by courtesy. This lack of escape intensifies the feeling of vulnerability because now your safe space is also a stage you can't step off. And that vulnerability goes beyond social dynamics. It's existential. Your home contains artifacts of your inner life that you may not be ready to share, the things you're curious about but unsure of, the routines that comfort you but might look strange to others, the purchases made in moments of loneliness, hope, or impulse. These objects tell stories you didn't consent to tell. Unlike conversations which can be guided and filtered, environments speak freely. You can choose your words, but you can't stop someone from noticing what's on your shelf. This is why people hide drawers, move objects, or feel a spike of panic when someone opens the wrong cabinet. It's not secrecy, it's self-protection. Even after the guest leaves, the experience doesn't simply end. There's the aftermath dread, the quiet realization that your sanctuary has been altered. The furniture feels off. The air feels different. You notice crumbs that aren't yours, sounds that don't belong, and a lingering sense that your space hasn't fully returned to you yet. Some people describe this as needing to reset their home, not just physically but emotionally, as if the walls themselves need time to forget. This isn't imagination, it's the brain reestablishing a sense of ownership and safety. And layered on top of all of this is the unspoken social contract that few people acknowledge: reciprocity. Letting someone into your home often creates an invisible debt, an expectation that you'll now accept invitations you may not want, attend gatherings that drain you, or open your space again because that's what's considered fair. For someone who already struggles with energy limits, this can feel like a trap rather than a kindness. So when people who never invite others over choose coffee shops, walks, or neutral spaces, they're not avoiding connection. They're choosing environments where connection is possible without self-betrayal. They're choosing to meet others where they can be present, relaxed, and authentic instead of guarded and exhausted. And here's the part most people miss. This behavior isn't antisocial. It's deeply self-aware. It reflects an understanding that boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out, but structures meant to keep relationships healthy. Not everyone needs access to every part of you to matter. Not every bond requires a key to your front door. Some connections thrive precisely because they exist outside of spaces that feel too personal to share. When someone says they prefer meeting elsewhere, what they may really be saying is, I want to enjoy you without losing myself. And that is not rejection, it's respect, both for themselves and for the relationship. In a world that constantly pressures people to perform openness, hospitality, and availability, choosing privacy can feel rebellious. But privacy is not a flaw, it's a need. Understanding this changes how we judge ourselves and others. It replaces shame with clarity, guilt with choice, and obligation with intention. So if you've ever wondered why you feel tense at the thought of hosting, why your energy crashes after guests leave, or why your home feels too sacred to casually share, know this: there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken, difficult, or cold. You are someone who understands the cost of access. And if this perspective resonated with you, if it put words to something you felt but never articulated, then you're exactly why the Known Sense exists. This channel is for people who think deeply, feel intensely, and want clarity without judgment. So if you found value here, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the Known Sense, and share it with someone who might finally feel understood by hearing it.